Hello, people. We are now at Matthew 27. And 27, Jesus is not talking at all. Jesus is done talking for the rest of this. So the name of this was Judas Hangs Himself. All right, here we go. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him and led him away and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with rumors, and he returned to 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and the elders. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed an innocent blood. What is it to us? They replied. This is your responsibility. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hung himself. The chief priest picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this into the treasury since it is blood money. So they decided to use the money to buy Potter's Field as a burial place for the foreigner. That is why it has been called the Field of Blood to this day. When what was spoken to Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set him by the people of Israel, and they drew them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. Meanwhile, Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, are you the King of Jews? You have said so, replied Jesus. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he had no answer. Pilate asked him, don't you hear the testimonies they are bringing against you? But Jesus made no replies, even to say a single charge. To the great amazement of the governor. Now it was the governor's custom at the festival to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At the time, they had a well-known prisoner whose name was Jesus. Barnabas. His name was Jesus Barnabas? Also, comma. Jesus Barnabas. So then the crowd had gathered. Pilate asked him, which one of you do you want me to release? Jesus, Barnabas, or Jesus, who is called the Messiah? For he knew it was out of self-interest that they would have handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him this message. Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him. But if the chief priests and the elders persuade the crowd to ask for Barnabas and not Jesus, and to have Jesus executed, which of these two do you want me to release to you? Asked the governor. Barnabas, they answered. What shall I do then with Jesus, who is called the Messiah? Pilate asked. They all answered, Crucify him. Why? What crime has he committed? Pilate asked. But they shouted all the louder, Crucify him. When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that interesting an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. I am innocent of this man's blood, he said. It is your responsibility. All the people answered, His blood is on us and on our children's. Then he released Barnabas to them, but he had Jesus flogged and handed over to be crucified. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the Praetorium and gathered the whole company of soldiers around him. So they stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then they twist together some crowns of thorns and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knifed in front of him and mocked him. Hail, King of Jews, they said. They spit on him and took his staff, and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put on his own clothes on him. They led him away to crucify him. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink, mixed in with gall. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided up. Thank you. They divided when they crucified him, they divided up his clothes by the lot, and sitting down, they kept watching over him there. After his head, they placed a written charge over him. This is Jesus, the King of Jews. 2 rebels were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross if you are the Son of God. In the same way, the chief priests and teachers of the law and the elders mocked him. He saved others, they say, but he couldn't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God. Let God rescue him now if he wants him. For he said, I am the Son of God. And the same way the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out a loud voice. Ali Elam excuse me. Allah Alim Sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing there heard this, they said, he calls to Elijah. Immediately one of them ran and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it on the staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up the spirit. After that moment, after that moment, the current of the temperature was torn into two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rock split, and the tomb was open. The body of many holy people who had died there was raised to life. They came out of the tomb after Jesus was resurrected and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those who was with him, who were guarding Jesus, saw the earthquake and said that all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaiming, surely he was the Son of God. Many women were there watching from a distance. They had followed Jesus to Galilee and cared for his needs. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of Jesus, and James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's son. As evening approached, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who had himself become a disciple of Jesus. Going to Pilate, he asked for Jesus' body. After Pilate ordered that it be given to him, John took the body, wrapped it in clean linen cloth, placed it on his own new tomb that had been cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting on the opposite side of the tomb. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. Sir, they said, we remember that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, after 3 days I will rise again. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise, his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has risen from the dead. This last deception will be worse than the first. Take a guard, Pilate answered. Go make the tomb as secure as you know how, so that when so they went and made the tomb secure by putting seals on the stone and posting the guards. 27.